Most people spend their whole life searching for happiness. They believe happiness will come when they have more money, a better house, expensive clothes, more respect, more success, or a perfect life. But the truth is different. Some people have everything the world admires, but still feel empty inside. They smile in front of others, but deep in their heart, they feel tired, lonely, and restless. Every morning, millions of people wake up with stress. They compare their life with others. They feel jealous when someone else succeeds. They complain when life does not go according to their plan. They keep chasing happiness like it is hiding somewhere far away. But no matter how much they achieve, their heart still feels incomplete. Maybe you also feel this sometimes. Maybe your mind is always busy. Maybe you compare yourself with others. Maybe you feel like life is unfair. Maybe you are waiting for one big moment that will finally make you happy. But what if happiness is not found in having more? What if happiness begins when your mind finally becomes peaceful? This is the story of a young man named Daniel and an old man named Mr. Thomas, who taught him a lesson that changed his life forever. Daniel lived in a small peaceful village near green hills and a quiet lake. He was 19 years old. He was smart, hardworking, and full of dreams. But there was one problem. Daniel was never happy. If the weather was too hot, he complained. If someone bought new clothes, he felt jealous. If someone else succeeded, he felt like a failure. If his family gave him simple food, he wished he had something better. Even when he sat with his parents at dinner, his mind was somewhere else. He was always thinking about the life he did not have. One evening, his mother looked at him and asked, "Daniel, why do you always look unhappy?" Daniel replied, "Because life has given me less than others. Everyone else seems to have a better life than me." His mother became silent. She knew Daniel was not poor in life. He was poor in gratitude. At the edge of the village lived an old man named Mr. Thomas. He was not rich. His house was small. His clothes were simple. He had no expensive things. But everyone in the village respected him because his face always carried peace. Even during difficult times, he stayed calm. Even when people criticized him, he smiled. Even when life became hard, he never lost his inner peace. People often came to him for advice. One evening, Daniel saw Mr. Thomas sitting near the lake, watching the sunset. Daniel walked toward him and said, "Everyone says you are a wise man. So tell me honestly, what is the secret of happiness?" Mr. Thomas looked at Daniel quietly. Then he asked, "Do you really want happiness? Or do you only want a life that looks better than others?" Daniel did not know what to say. After a few seconds, he replied, "I just want to be happy." Mr. Thomas smiled and said, "Then come to me tomorrow morning before sunrise. I will show you something." The next morning, Daniel reached Mr. Thomas's house before sunrise. Mr. Thomas was already waiting for him. He carried a small wooden box and said, "Follow me." They walked through the village, crossed the fields, and entered a quiet path between tall trees. After walking for some time, they reached an old garden. In the middle of the garden, there were 3 plants. The first plant was in a golden pot. The pot was beautiful, shiny, and expensive, but the plant inside was dry and almost dead. The second plant was in a broken clay pot. The pot looked old and simple, but the plant inside was green, fresh, and full of life. The third plant was in a big decorated pot, but its roots were trapped under heavy stones, could not grow properly. Daniel looked confused. Mr. Thomas asked, "Which plant looks the happiest?" Daniel replied, "The one in the broken clay pot. It looks alive." Mr. Thomas nodded and said, "Exactly." Then he pointed toward the golden pot. "This plant has beauty outside, but no life inside. Many people are like this. They look successful, rich, and important from outside, but inside they feel empty." Then he pointed toward the broken clay pot. "This plant has nothing special outside, but it receives sunlight, water, and space to grow. That is why it is alive." Then he pointed toward the third plant. "And this plant has a beautiful pot, but its roots are trapped, just like many people whose hearts are trapped by comparison, jealousy, anger, and endless desire." Daniel stayed silent. Mr. Thomas looked into his eyes and said, "A beautiful life outside means nothing if your heart is not free inside." Those words touched Daniel deeply. After that, Mr. Thomas took Daniel to a small hill. On the way, he picked up a stone and gave it to Daniel. He said, "Put this in your bag. This stone is comparison." Daniel placed the stone in his bag. After a few steps, Mr. Thomas picked up another stone. "This stone is jealousy." Then another. "This stone is anger." Then another. "This stone is the desire to control everything." Then another. "This stone is waiting for a perfect life before you allow yourself to be happy." Soon Daniel's bag became heavy. His shoulders started hurting. His breathing became fast. His steps became slow. Finally, he stopped and said, "Mr. Thomas, I cannot carry this anymore. It is too heavy. Mr. Thomas looked at him calmly and said, "But Daniel, this is what you carry every day inside your mind." Daniel froze. The old man continued, "Every time you compare yourself with others, you pick up a stone. Every time you feel jealous, you pick up a stone. Every time you become angry about something you cannot control, you pick up another stone." Daniel slowly removed the bag from his shoulders. For the first time, he understood why he always felt tired. His life was not the real problem. His thoughts were making his life heavy. They reached the top of the hill. From there, the whole village could be seen. Small houses, children playing, farmers working, women carrying water, and smoke rising from morning fires. Mr. Thomas said, "Look at this village carefully. Some people have little money but sleep peacefully. Some people have more money but never feel satisfied. Some people live simple lives but smile from the heart. Some people have many things but still complain every day." Daniel asked, "Then what makes the difference?" Mr. Thomas replied, "The direction of the mind." Daniel looked confused. Mr. Thomas explained, "If your mind always looks at what is missing, your life will always feel empty. But if your mind learns to notice what is already present, your life will start feeling rich." Then Mr. Thomas asked Daniel to shout toward the hills. Daniel shouted, "Life is unfair." After a moment, the hills echoed back, "Unfair, unfair, unfair." Mr. Thomas said, "Now shout something else." Daniel shouted, "I am grateful." The hills echoed back, "Grateful, grateful, grateful." Mr. Thomas smiled and said, "Life often gives back the voice you keep sending into it. If your mind is full of complaints, life feels painful. If your heart is full of gratitude, even simple moments become beautiful." Daniel stood quietly. He had blamed life for many years, but he had never looked inside his own mind. On their way back, they passed by an old woman watering flowers outside her small house. Her clothes were old. Her house was simple. Her hands looked tired, but she was smiling peacefully while taking care of her flowers. Daniel asked, "Why does she look so happy? She does not seem to have much." Mr. Thomas replied, "She has faced many difficulties in life, but every morning, she chooses to care for something. Those flowers give her purpose." Then he looked at Daniel and said, "A person without purpose becomes a prisoner of overthinking. When you only think about yourself, your sadness becomes louder. But when you help, love, create, and serve, your heart becomes lighter." That day, something changed inside Daniel. He did not become happy immediately. Real change does not happen in one moment. But Daniel started watching his thoughts. When someone else succeeded, he stopped saying, "Why not me?" Instead, he said, "What can I learn from them?" When something went wrong, he asked himself, "Can I control this?" If the answer was yes, he tried to improve it. If the answer was no, he tried to let it go. When he ate with his family, he stopped thinking about what was missing. He started feeling thankful for the food, the home, and the people sitting with him. Slowly, Daniel changed. He smiled more. He complained less. He helped his parents without anger. He spent more time near the lake. He learned to enjoy simple things. The sound of birds in the morning, the cool wind in the evening, the laughter of children, the peaceful silence after sunset. And strangely, the less Daniel chased happiness, the more peaceful he became. Months later, a rich businessman came to the village. He arrived with expensive clothes, a big carriage, and many servants. Everyone admired him. Daniel looked at him and thought, "This man must be very happy. He has everything." That evening, the businessman visited Mr. Thomas. Daniel was also sitting there. The businessman looked tired. His eyes were sad. He said, "I have spent my whole life chasing success. I have money, houses, respect, and power. But I do not remember the last time I slept peacefully. I do not remember the last time I enjoyed a simple meal. I have everything, but still I feel empty." Daniel was shocked. This man had the life Daniel once dreamed about, but he did not have peace. Mr. Thomas gave him a cup of tea and said, "You filled your house with things, but forgot to fill your heart with peace." The businessman lowered his eyes, and Daniel finally understood the lesson completely. Money can buy comfort, but not a peaceful mind. Success can bring attention, but not inner happiness. Expensive things can impress people, but they cannot heal an empty heart. The world teaches people how to earn more, but very few people teach them how to live peacefully. Years passed. Daniel became one of the wisest men in the village. Young people often came to him and asked, "What is the secret of happiness?" Daniel would smile and say, "Happiness does not begin when life becomes perfect. Happiness begins when your mind stops fighting every imperfection." Then he would tell them, "Do not build your happiness on comparison, because someone will always have more than you. Do not build your happiness on attention, because people forget quickly. Do not build your happiness on money alone, because money can give comfort, but not peace. Build your happiness on gratitude, purpose, patience, and simple moments. Maybe the story is for you. Maybe your mind is carrying invisible stones. Maybe you are tired from comparing yourself with others. Maybe you are waiting for one perfect day to finally feel happy. Maybe you think life will begin after you become rich, successful, respected, or famous. But life is already happening. In the morning sunlight, in the food on your table, in the voice of your family, in the people who love you, in the small chances you still have, in the breath you just took. Peace does not come when you own everything. Peace comes when everything stops owning you. So today, remove one heavy stone from your heart. Stop comparing your life with others. Stop waiting for everything to become perfect. Stop thinking happiness is only found in money, success, or attention. Real happiness begins when your mind becomes peaceful, your heart becomes grateful, and your soul learns to enjoy the simple moments of life. Because a peaceful heart can turn even an ordinary life into a beautiful one. If you like this story, then subscribe to my channel for more motivational and inspiring stories. Thanks.